Hi, my name is Trevi.
And I'm Kate.
And welcome back to our podcast called 6 Feet Above.
Oh my God, that was hard for me.
I know. Okay, today we have the OG YouTuber, podcast host, director, LGBT advocate,
Photographer.
icon. Oh yeah, photographer.
Don't forget it.
Everything. I mean, I'm like, I could keep going on and on and on.
No,
you really do
literally.
it all.
But
Shannon
what do I do well?
Beveridge.
Hi.
Everything.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Same.
Thanks for coming on. This is an
Anytime.
honor.
I think we originally asked you to come on 7 years ago?
Yeah, things take time.
Yeah.
Things take time.
Things really do take time. I'm a little nervous today.
Shut up.
Yeah, I
About
am.
what?
Because I feel like I was telling her on the Patreon that I feel like I normally come to you and then it's like like I know
Now
you
you're-
have your shit prepared and you're like such a pro when it comes
Oh my
to
God.
what you do and you're so articulate. Even back with watching your YouTube videos, you're a very articulate person. So I'm trying my best to be organized for you today.
That's so sweet. I love to not be in control, so this is great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, love that
Yeah.
you love that I
It's
feel
way less
this way.
pressure. It's way
It's
less
so
pressure.
nice to be a guest. I'm like, ugh,
It is.
what are we going to talk about?
It's on us now.
It is on
we
us
cannot
now.
flop.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna try my very best.
Okay, let's get into it.
Okay, so first thing I think that we should get into is that I think me and you created our YouTube channels the same year,
No
2009.
That sounds... No, I'm a little after you. I think I'm 2011. Well, I may have had a channel, you know what I mean? It's probably when I started,
Okay.
when I opened YouTube up for the first time.
Right.
But I think my first videos are from college. So I graduated high school in 2010.
Okay.
So it has to be 2011.
So your first when you started uploading was
Uploading,
2011.
yeah.
I mean, 2-year difference, not that big of a
gosh.
difference, but that is still considered OG era.
It was old school for sure.
Just
I miss
even, I mean, because that is the year that VidCon was invented.
Is what, 2010?
2011.
No way.
Yeah. Guys, if you are watching this on YouTube and you're driving or trying to fall asleep, we have an audio version in the description, so head on over there to listen to us. And while you're over there, if you could rate the podcast 5 stars on the audio platform, it helps our podcast grow algorithmically. I remember being at some skateboarding camp that my parents forced me to go to with my brother, and I snuck my iPod Touch in, and I was just watching all the coverage live, and I was like, damn, I really want to be at VidCon right now and seeing iJustine and Cassim G and
Crazy.
Philip DeFranco and all these people that I grew up watching.
Tyler
but-
Oakley.
Mind you, I was skateboarding into a foam pit.
No, that's actually kind of cool though.
Mind
Were there
you.
hotties there? I was obsessed with skater boys, but I think because I wanted to be
Yeah,
them.
that makes sense.
Yeah, that's T.
Yeah.
I
Ryan
don't
Sheckler?
think that I was
Wait, why do I know that name?
Ryan Sheckler, hottie. He has Sheckler on the back of his.
Was he in Stick It?
No. Well,
Really?
maybe.
That was low-key a gay awakening.
Everyone
Was
says
it?
I look like her.
Okay, literally. I
Wait.
think that's why I said it. I was
Yeah,
I
I'm
feel you know Stick It. The
Yes, that's the
movie?
gymnastics movie.
And everyone was obsessed with, what was her name? Haley what?
I don't,
Yeah.
Kyoko?
Literally Haley Kiyoko, yeah.
Different lesbian. No shit.
Not all lesbians have the same name. No, but
I know her
she
real name.
was everything. I had a crush on her, and I had a crush on the two skater boys that
That
propped
makes
her up.
sense. That
Maybe
makes
he
sense.
was in it. We'd have to check the IMDb.
True.
But basically, to make a long fucking story short, he was staying at the same hotel as us, and he came up to my mom and he tried hitting on her while she was still fully with my dad. And in my head, I'm like,
Did she cheat?
no, she did not. But yeah, core memory. I remember him being off the shit, and it was kind of really funny to watch as a kid. But back to what I was saying.
Insane.
Yeah,
You
we
just
get a little
dropped that.
sidetracked over
Yeah.
here.
I was contributing.
I want to know. I just want to ask a couple questions before we really gag. What is the meaning and the intention behind when you created your channel and your usernames to be Now This Is Living?
Well, yeah, I know. It's so weird. Now when I tell people my Instagram handle, I'm should just be Shannon Beveridge probably. But it started because it was my Tumblr handle.
You're a Tumblr.
Yeah. So I started on Tumblr, and my original Tumblr was actually Don't Wait, Live Now. And it was
So
because
true.
Tumblr handles are they're all just
They were all gaggy.
sayings and nothing. And I think I read a quote and I was like, oh, that's cool. Don't wait, live now. Who knows? And then I deleted my Tumblr because people started to message me and be like, Shannon, are you thirsty? Do you need a beverage? And I was in school in Oklahoma. I was in the closet. But I was talking about being gay on Tumblr. And then I was like,
Wait,
oh my
how'd they
God.
find out it was you?
I don't know. But someone found out.
You got an op.
My pictures were on there. So like someone just found it and was like, oh, I know Shannon. So I was like, oh my God, I can't do this. So I deleted my Tumblr and I started a new Tumblr. And at the time I had started coming out. When I made my first Tumblr, I had not come out to anyone.
And you were in a sorority, right?
Yeah.
And that
Tri
was
Delta.
like...
Yeah, I was not out. I came out to my parents in between making Don't Wait Live Now and Now This Is Living. So Now This Is Living was my second Tumblr account. And I changed it from Don't Wait Live Now to Now This Is Living because I was like, now that I'm coming out and telling people, like, this is my life as like
that's
Star.
so
That's actually like
cute.
really deep and nice.
You're wholesome.
Too crazy.
As fuck. That's
Yeah.
like, I mean, that's like a whole rebrand of sorts.
Yeah.
You were living in the rebrand energy.
Yes, and I'm ready for a new one.
No,
Okay.
and I'm so excited
Same.
about everything with your new show, Alphabet Club.
I feel so relaxed. I'm like, am
Do
I
you?
too
I know.
relaxed in this?
No, you're fine.
No, it's great. The seat's gonna start hurting in like an hour.
There's
so-
no cushion in
Yeah,
here.
I know.
There's like a metal rod.
Something is going on.
I'll tell set dressing. I'll tell them to get on it immediately.
I know we should have gotten you like a donut, but
I'm like close to
Yeah.
the floor here. Anyway, yeah, rebrand again.
That's good.
But-
Wait, what time period was this in? Like when people were like finding out and then you were switching into the
It
new
was
Tumblr? of
Like
it all?
2010, 2011. Oh, I think I started my Tumblr in 2011.
So this is after high school.
Yeah.
So when did you come out?
So I started my Tumblr like I remember it was spring break 2011. So my freshman year of college, I was in California. I came here for like spring break with my friends, and I heard of Tumblr, and I started my Tumblr on that trip, like secretly, didn't tell anyone. And I came out to my mom, my dad, and my sister the summer in between my freshman year of college and my sophomore year of college.
Okay.
okay.
And then I was like, I'm going to transfer schools. I came to LA. I came back to LA, and I looked at schools. I went to like San Diego and toured their campus with my sister.
Like STSU?
Yeah, and then I waited too long to like apply, so then I had to go back to Oklahoma. And then after my sophomore year, I was like, now I really have all these friends, and I'm not going to leave.
Right.
And I was just like, I'll hope for the best.
Out in LA.
No, in Oklahoma, like I'll hope
Right.
for the best that these people will not like hate me when they found out I'm gay.
Is Oklahoma
Above Texas.
okay? So I'm assuming that's not like a liberal.
No.
I don't think I've been to Oklahoma. I don't know much
Yeah.
about Oklahoma.
Where the wind blows.
Right.
Yeah, it's
That's what they say there.
not good.
Is
well,
really?
it's just very conservative. It's very
Yeah.
conservative.
It's not ideal to be like gay in 2011
Yeah.
in
Right.
Oklahoma.
I mean, that depends on the way that you see it, because Born This Way came out that year. And that
I don't think it like reached Oklahoma though.
Yeah, they didn't have iTunes. God, I miss iTunes. I miss being able to be
Tooth
like
tunes.
Tooth Tunes. Born This Way toothbrush, but instead of brushing your teeth, use it as a vibrator.
And that is
No,
how
someone
most come
invent
out.
that immediately.
Wait, so you came out to everyone. What year was it? 20.
I didn't come out fully until after I graduated college
Right.
in 2014. Well, I was making YouTube videos in college, and I had that Tumblr, but I was just like making them randomly. Like I would do a Q&A. And then I
Were
started.
people mean about that? People were so mean in college about like any social media.
No one in college knew.
Oh, they just didn't know that
Yeah,
you were on YouTube.
it was.
Okay.
I joked that I was like lesbian Hannah Montana, because I was out online, but I was like closeted like in real life. And then no one like everyone online would be messaging me, being like, "I came out because of you," and I was
Right.
still in the closet. So
No.
Yeah, legit Hannah Montana.
I do honestly feel like that was like the opposite tea for me. I feel like a lot of people in my life like knew that I always wanted to do this, but like I never said it on the internet until like 2020. It was just like this ticking time bomb.
yeah.
But yeah, both struggles are valid. I'm
Well, it
just.
sucks that you had to do it all publicly.
What do you mean? So did you?
Yeah, but I went online because I knew I was gay, and I was like trying to find community. Like you had to find yourself in front of a camera the whole time.
Hey, we did it though.
We survived
We fucking survived.
That's not
so far.
I would have crashed out publicly.
You know what?
you know.
And where there's still opportunities.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to fully make us L in the LGBT because I'm so sick of these motherfuckers.
Okay, because like low key, she's giving bisexual, and
We talk about
by
it.
the end of this
Exactly.
podcast,
Come on.
What the whole like
We're
when
forcing
like
you
when the
out.
podcast like dies or like this episode?
no, this
This
episode.
episode.
Oh, that's a
Yeah.
hefty time frame.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're giving Oklahoma, and you gotta.
Am I giving Oklahoma? Well, back to what I was saying honestly about that is like it's so. It's such an insane thing to like say that there's like liberal and like conservative states because like I grew up in California
Yeah.
and that's considered a liberal state, but the
Right.
part of California that I grew up in was like damn near Oklahoma.
Yeah, yeah. It's
So I guess it's just all about finding your community and like even wherever you are, there's a couple of people out there for you and
Well, did you watch the documentary that Will Ferrell did with?
oh my
What is it
god, they
called?
told
Wait, no.
so many people told me to watch this. So can you explain what this is?
It's like basically like Will Ferrell's friend, who was a writer for SNL for a long time, came out as a trans woman.
Okay.
And like reached out to Will via email, just being like, you know, and Will took it upon himself to be like, wait, I want to learn about this and like be an ally to you. And so let's do a road trip across America together and make a documentary.
Oh my
And
god.
it's crazy because like there's like they stop in all kinds of places, but Oklahoma actually is a place that they stop. I'm like 99% sure. And they go to a bar and Will's really nervous that like they're going to be mean to her.
Right.
Yeah.
But they're actually so kind. And
wow.
yeah, it definitely is Oklahoma because there was like Native American people at the bar too. And they're like very open-minded to her. And then in Texas, where I'm from actually,
Yes.
they're so
Oh, so which the documentary like shows shit like that?
They Will like goes to Texas with her and they go to like a steakhouse or some kind of like barbecue place that they have one of those things where it's like if you can eat this huge steak in less than an hour, you get like your meal for free. And it's Will Ferrell. So he goes there and he's like, I'm gonna eat the steak.
Yeah.
Right.
But they put them on this table where everyone is watching them.
Oh my god.
Because they're watching him try to finish eating it, but not only are they watching him, they're watching her, and it's like a huge, like very, like a lot of transphobic
Yeah.
comments and like
Of people in
like
real
they're being
life?
like they were like ogling, like you know, like looking
Yeah.
at them, and then tweeted about it, and like there was all this other stuff, like a bunch of backlash, and it's like it's like a big turning point in the doc too, where Will like cries about it, and he's like, I put her in danger by like drawing so much attention to myself, and I wasn't.
Wow.
He's like, I thought because it's me, like people are gonna see and they're gonna appreciate or like us, and he's
Right.
like, I didn't understand what she was going through, and then they went to Oklahoma after, before, whatever, but Oklahoma's nice.
And it was a
And
different story.
I think it's like, wow. There's also like a wealth disparity between Oklahoma and Texas.
Yeah.
Where there's like, I think a lot of times wealthier areas tend to be like,
Tend to have more because that's
Yeah.
with San Diego and
Conservative,
like
yeah.
Orange County, like beach
Yeah, yeah.
cities. We talk about that too
Yeah.
on here, where like rather than over here or like in more inland areas, like these beach cities have a lot of people who.
well, there's like MAGA.
Yeah.
but they
You
just
drive through there and there's like Trump flags everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's like everywhere. Even in New York, I remember I had this friend. He was like a gay guy, but he loved to wear like dresses and stuff. And we once went to a bar in Kips Bay, which is like Finance Chad Central. And the guys were like freaking. They were all like looking at him and they're like, oh my God. And I was like, all right, well, now we have to leave or I need to beat you up. I don't know which one. But it's like, it really doesn't matter where you are. You'll always have bigotry somewhere.
But
Oh, for
each
sure.
community of like people that are bigots like all stick together in certain areas. Like if I go out in Silver Lake versus going out in Santa Monica, I know I have issues in Santa Monica.
Yeah.
Maybe not issues like down to like, you know, where there's like a physical moment, but like I think when I'm over there, like I said, closer to the beach, like it's so odd. It's also Finance City over there, and it's definitely more stairs, definitely more points, and I think that like just finding to like any queer people is like finding the area and the community and staying in that area, but also not being afraid to like be yourself and be able to explore those areas because you're a fucking human being. You can do whatever the fuck you want.
But it's so hard. I mean, like, even when I was living in New York, like, walking outside is so stressful as a woman. So I literally cannot even imagine what it's like for, like, a trans woman or it's just, it's so overstimulating. Even here,
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, I'm scared all the time when I walk outside.
Me too.
But that's just kind of who I am.
Yeah. We went into a Taco Bell, and this was my fault.
This was your fault.
This was my fault.
But
I was starving.
You thought it was a drive-through, so
Yeah, I did think it was a drive-through. We went to a Taco Bell after we shot the pod because we were gonna go out after, but I was like so hungry that I actually like felt weak. So I was like, we need something quick because we were like running late to wherever we needed to be. So I was like, let's just like drive through. Like I just want to get like a quesadilla real quick. Wasn't a drive-through. Was so starving. I was like, I need to go in, but then it's like, she's not gonna let me go in alone to this like Beverly Hills Taco Bell, right?
I'm in a backless fur top. It's
We're
like-
both in like backless stuff and like heels. We're both above 6 feet. We're just like, obviously we stand out because we're iconic.
Hello.
But like, I'm sorry, but like we go in there and like people just staring, and then somebody
they start recording
started
us.
recording us.
It's so
You're kidding.
stupid. And then
in
I'm shutting
Beverly
everything down.
Hills.
Yeah.
So it's like you really just don't know.
No, you
Yeah.
don't. It's crazy.
It was so stressful.
It's so odd.
But
And
in
it's-
Oklahoma, people are like, "What's your story?"
right,
It's crazy.
Wait,
you know?
I feel bad I was talking shit on Oklahoma.
Well, I'm sure that
there's some people.
there's
yeah.
parts of Oklahoma,
Yeah.
and or people
I
in
stand
any
Oklahoma,
part.
but
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't. Honestly, I feel like I can't really even talk about Oklahoma because I haven't been in so long. But
When's
I'm
the
like,
last
I
time
don't
you
know.
went?
Since I graduated, I never went back.
Is your
Really?
family still there?
No, my family's in Dallas. Do you guys care if I put my feet up here?
Please.
Please.
I just felt like it was like slouching out. I'm like,
It's easy
I'm
to
gonna
slouch
hate
on this
the way that
couch,
looks.
yeah.
Like.
Yeah, we sometimes call the Patreon slouch and vape.
Perfect.
Yeah, and I'm trying to handle the last part. I'm trying to quit. I've been
I
having
know.
conversations with,
Yeah.
medical professionals on like the right and comfortable way to do it. Forgot to update you on that. It's
Oh,
like a
wait.
serious thing.
Really?
Yeah, I think I really want to quit. Just for the sake of like
Help.
my skin, my health, my
Yeah.
lungs. I have asthma. It's like, what are you
Yeah.
doing?
You're a singer.
No, it's
Right.
Yeah. Do you vape?
No.
No.
Have you ever?
No.
Thank
So you're better
God.
than me.
Well, that's what I was saying. Yeah.
Well,
You
yeah.
removed ketamine?
I don't
No.
see that many drugs in LA.
You don't?
No.
Do you go out a lot?
Yeah. Well, I haven't been recently in LA, but yeah, I just never seen that many drugs here.
God.
I don't-
Honestly, same, but I don't go out.
True.
But
Damn.
you've seen it a lot.
I've seen it, but it's also, it's like the people that you surround
Yeah.
yourself
I'm
I'm
with,
not
like,
saying there
sober
aren't
people,
drugs
yeah.
here.
Oh.
There's obviously drugs in Los
beyond
Angeles.
down. Like
Oh, yeah.
But
when I first started going out here, like I was in the routine of like $20 bill under the ID as a 16-year-old, get into the club, see it everywhere, get offered by like older men, older women, older people who maybe don't know that I'm 16. It's just like, at least back then it was so much more prevalent. And then I was just around a bunch of people and that I am no longer associated with that just like personally had it on them and like just
Right.
didn't take into account for my sobriety.
Yeah.
But you learn as you grow.
Yeah.
Like who
Surround yourself with different people.
I think
I feel
that's
like there's
sorry,
a
go
lot. I was just gonna say, I feel like there's a lot of drugs around like gay men. I don't know if this is problematic to say. What I've seen in Los Angeles
Right.
is
Yeah.
like there are a lot of like gay male friend groups that are doing drugs, and then also a lot of straight people that do drugs. And I don't know why, but like the lesbians that I for a long time I've like run in circles of only lesbians, and I've not
They
seen.
don't be doing drugs.
Well, like I think we're just now beating the stereotype as lesbians that we go out and drink. You know,
Right.
Like in 2025, it's like we're trying to be like, no, we have fun.
We're
we go
fun,
out.
yeah.
We go out.
Yeah.
But like for a long time, the lesbian stereotype has been,
Love is y'all's drug.
yeah,
Oh,
you
like
find a
U-Haul,
partner, you
yeah.
stay at home. You don't
Why
go
can't you
out.
do both?
Love
Why
is
are
our
you
drug.
laughing?
Yeah.
Love is y'all's drug, and I want to hit. No, I can't
No,
make it up.
literally. I'm begging.
Well, and all our bars closed. Like when we try to
What?
create
Wait, where do you
them.
go out?
Well, when I was going out, I was going to like Tenants. Like,
Period. Have you been to Honey's?
yeah, of course.
It's a lesbian bar, or is it a lesbian night at a bar?
Is it the one that's like Star at Whitehorse
Yes.
or whatever the
Yeah,
hell
yeah,
that is?
yeah.
Yeah.
I went when Tenants was closed. I didn't know it was a lesbian bar. To my surprise, I was elated because,
Yeah.
I wasn't being like stared at and pointed at by like finance men.
Mm-hmm.
But it was lovely. Like, I honestly want to take you.
I think it's
Yeah.
a lesbian night.
Are you sure?
No.
I got the whole
I'm not
love.
sure. I'm not sure.
Guys, I hate to interrupt you in the middle of this episode, but if you could like this video, comment, subscribe, and ring the little notification bell. I know it sounds like a lot, but it actually takes 2 seconds, and it helps YouTube push our channel out to more like-minded people like you, so it would really actually so mean a lot to us.
I used to go to the Cubby Hole all the time in New York. Do you remember that one?
Do I
And there was
remember?
always dudes there looking for a third.
Yeah, but it's also the smallest bar ever. It's still open.
It was 2 by 2 feet.
Yeah.
And like you could not get a drink.
cubby hole. I think it's cash only still.
Why?
Insane.
Isn't that bad for
Can
the
we grow
environment?
Yes.
Yeah.
Something. But
for
what is
everyone.
this like? Isn't there like a huge discourse that there is like actually like no lesbian bars?
Yeah, there's like 25 in America or something.
No
Yeah.
way. There's 25 on Santa Monica Boulevard for gay men.
Yes, of course.
Maybe,
Yeah.
Yes,
maybe more.
Of course. Yeah.
Why do you think that is? And what do you think is like the conversation around that?
I do think it is because love is lesbians' drug. So there are a lot of people who get into relationships and go out less.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's harder to keep them open. There's less lesbians.
Where are they at?
Hey, we're recruiting.
Trevi?
We're getting more every day.
I would if I could.
Yeah.
And I told you that a million times in private. And
No,
also,
be yourself. Be yourself. Like,
it would be 100% myself. You know how much I would love to just like date you?
okay, because talk's cheap, but I feel like, well, okay, brings up something interesting.
Okay.
Oh, well, wait. I was going to be like, what's the difference? But you've never dated men, right?
No.
Yeah. But what do you like about dating women?
I like that you can like really connect with women. There's like there's an understanding of each other and your experience in the world.
Yeah.
Of like safety and like
Right.
being sexualized, or just like innately you get each other more, I think, than I've
Yeah.
ever understood men, but I don't date
But
men.
yeah, you don't date men.
It's definitely a rough one.
Yeah. The
actually-
objectification of it all is bananas.
Yeah. I think you actually come when you have sex.
Right.
Oh,
That's
wow.
what I've heard.
And y'all check
About-
on each other. You're like,
Yeah.
hey, did you actually?
Sex is 7 hours.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
true as well.
Love that.
Sometimes that is a problem though.
It never ends.
It lasting so long.
Love is y'all's drug.
Love is the way you said that. No, literally.
I
it
think
doesn't
for like
end.
young lesbians too, I feel bad for them in a way. I mean, I don't feel bad, but I feel bad because if you're having sex at the beginning of a lesbian relationship and it lasts a really long time, I think it creates this pressure that they think that every time you have sex, it has
like
to
this
be
whole movie.
Right.
an escapade.
Right.
Yeah.
Like it has to be 7 hours long. And then it can almost create, well, there's like all this like lore around lesbian bed death, which is like the longer.
Oh, yeah. I remember
I love
that.
that.
Bree's
like,
just knowing about
"Preach!"
everything we're talking about. Wait, can you explain the theory of lesbian bed death to me?
Well, it's another thing that I'm like, it's a stereotype I hope dies. That and like lesbians don't go out, like, and lesbians hate gay men. There's like a few things that I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah,
I
that
really
is
do
one
hope that
too,
these fade out of existence. So I hope talking about it doesn't keep it going longer. But lesbian bed death is like the concept that lesbians get together, they stay together, and then they stop fucking
Right.
because
Oh.
their relationship becomes more like friendship and less sexual in time. But I think this concept of like really having like really long sex can create a lot of pressure
Right.
in your romantic relationship in like a way where you're like, ugh, well, I kind of would fool around with you right now, but I
Right, you
don't
don't
have
want to be-
7 hours
yeah,
to
it's
get.
energy.
And so then you're like, let's just not have sex.
right.
And then over time, it's like anything. If you're not exercising it,
Or
you'll
just communicating about
Yeah.
what you need. Yeah.
yeah.
That's
But, like,
my one thing that I feel like that why I wish I was attracted to women is like the way you said, like the understanding. Like I don't live a parallel life of a cis woman, and I'm not claiming to. But I obviously think there are a lot of parallels. And then at the same time, it's like psychologically, like we all experience like emotions and love and, vulnerability and, really just like not wanting to play games. I mean, not even not wanting to play games because I know a lot of people do, but like I think there's just a more of an honesty undertone and like a sureness of what you want. That is a huge broad statement. I know that doesn't apply to everyone, but like at least with my friends
Yeah.
and most women I know, like it's always this story of like either chasing this guy or like, getting breadcrumbed or, having to play the game and psychological tricks. And I mean, the list can go on and on and on. And like, to me, from since I was a wee young lassie,
Thank you.
I was only friends with women because I always felt like I was on the same wavelength with them. And I just wish, Kate always does this thing on her podcast all the time that she has this theory that men and women are actually not supposed to be together.
Well, for sure.
Which people got mad about. God forbid I tell the truth. Okay. I don't actually agree with it. Fully do. But like, I think that in my personal experience, I'm sure there are men out there that like will understand me, but
Yeah, there is.
I've only had one girlfriend, and like that was, I've never been like understood compared to the boyfriends I've had. And like even my friends like don't even remember the boyfriends that I've had. And I'm like, who's your favorite person I've dated? And they're like, oh, obviously her. Like she was a gag. She was everything. But I don't believe that a man can't understand you or me, but I do think it's rare, and that's why our standards are so high, and that's why we don't date a lot.
Yeah.
Because we're not just gonna give this heart to anyone. They gotta understand us.
Period.
Don't settle.
Don't settle.
Would you ever date a trans guy? Because
Yes, we talked about that.
Yeah, we talked about it. But also, I've been following and like watching, Sasha and Adore.
I'm obsessed.
I know, and I think it was Sasha made a TikTok about dating her and how healing it's been because of the same thing of like, God, I don't want to put words in people's mouth, but basically like not having to explain his transness and that just being like an understood thing between each other.
Like a
of,
silent, like just
Yeah.
understanding.
Yeah. Which is like kind of what I'm saying about dating women. Like I'm like, we have this thing that we
Yeah.
already can connect on that you don't even, it's unspoken, right?
Yeah.
I think that's the thing. I think what I know from my like straight friends or girls I know that have dated men, they're like half of the battle is just trying to explain and like prove to men that I'm a person.
Right.
That's insane.
Yeah.
It's kind of the
No,
most insane
literally.
thing that's ever come
I
out
feel
of
like
anyone's mouth on this podcast.
I feel like I see a lot of men that are like mid 30s that are always like, wait, being a woman's low-key hard. And they're like just turning 40.
Yeah.
And it's just like, yeah, so that's kind of crazy. They like don't, I was at, and I'm pursuing stand-up, blah, blah. I was at an open mic the other day, and this guy was like, you know what's so crazy? He was like 50. He was like, you know what's so crazy? I can go to the gas station at 1 a.m. and pump gas. A woman can't. And we were like, yeah. He was like, it's actually really hard to be you guys. And it's like, it takes a while.
Guys, I hate to interrupt you one last time, but we have 17 whole bonus episodes on our Patreon, patreon.com/6feetabove. I've said it before, I'll say it again. We are a self-funded podcast. That means the money coming out of our pockets is going into this podcast. No one else is helping us. So if you support us over on Patreon, it helps keep the podcast alive. So I hope to see you over there. And we gag over there, and we spill tea, and we say things we don't feel comfortable saying on YouTube. All right, back to the episode.
And it's like, you should just like listen.
Didn't Logan Paul just like...
Yes. He's like, not to be a woke asshole.
What did he say?
He was like, not to be a woke asshole, but low-key, being a woman's hard. And we
like,
said,
truly.
He said, okay, King, take your strides at your own pace.
right. I'm like, okay, a win in a sense.
Oh my God. Yeah, I think that's also what's so interesting in my story of my transition, because inherently, I, as we know, everyone on this podcast knows, inherently, like, I was raised male, and I was raised with a lot of ideas that daughters aren't raised with, such as like, hey, don't pump gas at 1 a.m, or always be with someone when you're getting home. Like, I don't feel like I was raised with like this knowledge of like safety, because out comes the son, and they raised the son. I mean, this isn't it wasn't like a huge debate back then whether to do so or not. So I think as I got deeper into my transition, where I was more feminine presenting, and, especially like post any like gender affirming surgery or care, and just like kind of really started getting deep into it, I would still not have those safety
You don't have like
the cues in my head. So like I thought it was like normal for me to like wait outside on the curb for my Uber for like 5 minutes until like obviously like I had an experience once that obviously changed me and really like, and even in New York too, I really think I started to realize that like when I would like walk around at night and like if there was like ever like construction workers and like, what is up with the construction workers in New York, by the way?
Why are they so horny?
Why are they so
I don't
horny?
even know. They're
Who are your
overcompensating
wives?
for something. Yeah.
I guess what I'm trying to say is that like I was raised with like the knowledge of male privilege and
Yeah.
like I didn't understand that that was like a privileged thing to have, and obviously like I couldn't give a about that. Like I would rather be torn down and misunderstood by the world and put more at risk to live this life that I am now. So it's like I don't even, when people argue all the time that they're like they don't understand why a perfectly normal attractive male who could thrive in society transitions, they like lose that. And it's like, well, doesn't that prove to you that like it really means something?
Yeah, and also like, why would you choose what? It's not
Why
a
would
choice.
you choose to lose
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, I think there's obviously like a lot of learning and unlearning when you
1000%.
do anything that's like outside of the whatever status quo or whatever. But because I feel similarly about like sex, because I was raised about like having sex with men, like my whole like sex education from my parents, which already, thank you mom and dad for even talking to me about it, but like
Right.
was always about like you can always say no, and if a boy tries to do this, and I'm like, I missed a sexual education about what it would mean.
Right. You're
What
like, I'll be
consent-
saying no.
and what consent means with like a woman. Like
Right.
there's
Yeah.
a lot of like, yeah, I don't know, it's just a different,
Different time.
yeah.
I know, and like any sex education I got in school, it was just about how scared I should be.
Oh,
it
and,
was
like,
like
warts.
never in warts.
Just
you
like
said?
about warts.
Yeah,
It's like
a
this
lot
could-
of warts, a lot of warts, and I was like, okay, so I'm gonna hate this, and I'm gonna get warts.
Yeah.
okay,
And I should
love
be
it.
incredibly scared of everyone.
Right.
Yeah.
Which like
Wow.
Oh, and in
Damn.
Texas, they're like, here, let's pass around this piece of tape all around the room, and by the last person, it's not sticking anymore. And they're like, that's what happens when you give yourself away to a lot of
Oh my god.
Okay, that is so Texas coded.
Hey,
Hey, how y'all doing?
It's a genius way to shame. That's crazy.
Wow.
so crazy.
Yeah, I think just like looking back at like the different generations of like, I mean, I don't know. I always go back and forth. I'm like, I wonder how people are raising their kids today because I feel like it's
Yeah.
so much more split now. It's like I feel like people are actively gonna raise their kids to not be transgender, or you have parents who are like overly
Yeah,
like
my sister and her
gender
niece is like,
neutral.
and whatever you want to be, whoever you are. She's 4 months old. They're like,
like,
and
I
whenever
don't
you
know
fall
what's
in
going on.
love,
Yeah.
whoever it is.
whoever it is.
I'm like,
Yeah.
can she hear? Like, what's going on?
Right.
I think
This girl does
she's
not speak English. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think she's crying. I think she needs her bottle. I can't make
Mm-hmm.
that up. Okay, well, I want to get into like, do you have any like tea stories of like influencers or like stories about people from VidCon playlist
Viz.
eras?
No, yeah. I'm like, do I? I like never got that in the circle of the YouTubers. Like I felt like I wanted to be. I'm like, hey, can you guys invite me? But I was
Right.
always like, there were like the lesbian YouTubers, and then there was like everyone else. That's how
Right.
it felt. Like I could not like really get into those rooms. But I mean, yeah, no, I don't think I have anything
So-
worth telling.
So, to my knowledge, I'm trying to think of the first time you and I met.
Yeah.
I want to say it was somewhere along the lines of 2016, 2017 at a playlist live.
That sounds right.
Does that ring a bell?
Sounds about right.
So the reason I can't fully comprehend that is because at every single one of those damn YouTube events, I was
Wasted.
facing the floor by 8 p.m.
Yeah.
Like,
Do you
I-
remember her being wasted? Or
Probably.
Were you composed?
no.
Oh.
No, God, no. No,
God.
I just remember, I think it was like me, you, and like, oh, was it L?
Mills?
Yeah, L Mills.
Dead, yeah.
And then like just a bunch of like Andrew Lau maybe.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, like all in a hotel room, and I remember like me and you were having like a deep conversation about something like incredibly like doesn't need to be spoken about under the influence at all.
I'm sure.
But
Sounds like
we
me.
weren't doing that. Sounds like me as well. And I think I remember like maybe crying. I don't know. I can't make it up.
Oh.
It's very possible. I just feel like I can't remember a time where I didn't know you in that circle, like in that world, because I also knew of you. So it's like,
Same.
it gets complicated when you are like, wait, when did I meet you?
Yeah.
And when did you become a real life character to me?
Yeah.
And not just like this online person.
I wish you were like, they're just like so, I wish you got to experience like being at.
You know I couldn't.
No,
I don't know
but
how to
I do think that like back then, like you would have enjoyed it. You would have.
If I was drinking?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
I'd be down.
Because I was.
Yeah.
Obviously. But like, I was passing, I got home from San Diego last night and I was passing through Anaheim, which is where VidCon is held. And I saw a huge billboard
For VidCon?
for VidCon. And I'm just like, no tea. But like, they're still doing it.
I know, give it up. When's TanaCon actually going to happen?
I don't know.
Let's do that.
I don't know. I mean, and at that point, it's like, I almost feel like for the culture, it would be more moving than like the 27th VidCon. I
can't do that ever again. Never
VidCon
going
is just
back.
like big creators on YouTube.
It's like YouTube con,
Meet and
basically.
greet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's meet and greets,
like
there's
Comic-Con.
panels. What else was there? Parties.
A lot of parties.
A lot of parties.
Okay, fun.
But the thing that was so like confusing about a lot of these conventions is that like it was so unfair of like there was like tiers of YouTubers that like you could have someone in the same tier as you of like I guess like social relevancy, right? And like you'd like find out that like so and so was getting paid and
Oh,
like
yeah.
was flown out first class, and then it's like you're like I've been busting my ass and I'm like double, like not to like compare engagements or relevancy, but it's like I'm over here, I'm like I have double the engagement as you. It's like I flew here economy and I didn't even get paid to be here. Like and I'm not naming specific conventions. There was like 4 or 5 like different conventions, but like it would always be such like I don't want to say like a shady business, but like they really just picked and choose who got like princess treatment.
Yeah.
And
It was like a weird hierarchy.
it
of,
was.
Like them picking favorites.
Yeah.
Very odd.
And the more that you like
What?
sucked the ass of like the head people, like didn't even matter who you are. I think it was also like based off of like who your manager was at the
Yeah,
time. And
totally.
It's all about management these days. It
and
still is.
everyone's saying that.
Yeah.
Everyone's saying that.
They are.
But I
think
do
it's
think that
true.
you would have enjoyed it.
Perused it.
Yeah, I think you would have perused it. Have you ever
I'd be down.
considered going to like, do they have like comedy conventions? I'd go to one with you.
They have AA conventions.
Do they actually?
Yeah.
Wait, but I'm not compatible. Ugh, final.
No,
go.
literally. No, comedy conventions. Yeah, I think that I mean like festivals.
Oh, like the Netflix one,
Yeah,
right?
Netflix is a joke.
can
There's this
see
thing
you.
called Skankfest in Vegas.
Okay.
That's a dream of mine.
That's a name.
I know, right?
Yeah.
But
Skank.
yeah, we all gotta go to Skankfest.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll
As long as I'm booked.
no. You book it. I'll handle the trip.
Thank you.
I
Thank
got
you.
you. I got you.
I know I've never been to Vegas.
But yeah, I mean, what an insane era of our lives to be. I mean, because I mean, at least for me, like I was going like every year.
Yeah. And you were probably going to like all of them.
Yeah, and mind you, I was like what, 14,
That's so
15,
crazy. You were such
16.
a baby.
But-
Did you graduate high school, like a normal high school?
No,
Crazy.
I did online school, dropped out, and then I got my GED.
Hello.
So I got my GED, and then hey, in my 20s I got my GERD.
Right.
Hey,
I knew that was
got
coming.
my GED and my GERD.
Yeah.
Something with the G's, the E's, and the D's.
Can't
But
win 'em all.
I remember going to, these conventions as young as 16 with just a manager. My mom trusted my manager at the time so much that I was just like, but it's just like shit I would get into like as soon as the manager went to bed. Like I got myself into a lot of fucked up shit. I think at those conventions back then there wasn't a lot of, I'm trying to figure out the like structure as far as like what's legal and what isn't.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And I hope that's not like borderline like lawsuit speech, but like, yeah, some
Say
really
allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly they like got into a lot of things that weren't maybe compatible with the law.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say it was lawless. I think is the thing.
It was.
Like, and what were they gonna do exactly? Like, it was a weird. It was like Wild Wild West.
Yeah. I remember being 16 years old at one of these, and like the head person who runs the entire thing hands me a stack this big of 40 drink tickets.
What?
And they happened every year.
That's
And like
fucked up.
back then I was like just right when I started getting into drinking, and like
That would have been a dream as
It was.
a teen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
it
is
was
a dream.
until like I experienced something awful.
Right.
And then I was just so far away from home, and it was a lot. But yeah, I guess that all plays hand in hand. Like, you're saying that you haven't experienced much like crazy substance use within your community. Okay.
You seem like you have a healthy relation
You
with
do.
substances. You give that.
Thanks. I don't know. I mean, yeah, with substances.
Yeah.
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 Well,
Own
we,
it.
we always try to like corner our guests into like,
Or, like-
just like,
Be like, "Are you
telling
okay?"
us how they feel about
Yeah.
like substances, because it's a human conversation to question
Yeah.
how you're
100%.
doing on
100%.
that. So this is dropping. Is this dropping like June 1st or close to June? Close to
Pride Month is awry.
Hey.
How do you feel about Pride Month?
I think
Enjoy
Pride
it.
is like a necessity. I think Pride Month
Yeah.
is like, I think for a lot of people, it's a very healing event or like day or whatever it is, however you celebrate it. If you go to a Pride parade or whatever, I feel like I don't need it as much now as I did when I was younger or when I had
Yeah.
less community, because I feel kind of like proud all the time. But I
Work.
Aw.
Thanks.
Love.
But I do think it's a necessity. I think it's really important for people. And it's crazy because obviously America is in such a weird place, but
That's what I was getting at.
it's not just America though. Like a bunch of these countries are ending their prides and not doing Pride this year, which is just crazy.
So
and
crazy.
also crazy because they got rid of DEI or whatever.
Yeah.
Like so many brands don't have budget for Pride
I
this
know.
year.
Yeah.
And Pride used to be the month I would make like
The most money.
Yeah. And this year they're like one of the companies I used to work with every year for Pride, they were like, we don't have a Pride budget at all
Oh my
anymore. And it's like a
gosh.
massive brand. So, and they were like, it's because of DEI, which is crazy.
Have you
So
ever
scary.
felt that like sometimes corporations weaponize you during Pride? Because I always like,
Rainbow washing.
yeah, or like whatever the word it is. Because like, I mean, even back then, like, I just feel like the weirdest brands would reach out to me. Now it's more so for Pride Month. It's more so like, I guess within the universe, like with beauty or whatever. But like, I'd have like companies that have nothing to do with like expressing yourself or whatever, or anything to do with my brand. And then it's like the July 1st.
Oh,
They changed the logo back.
Yeah.
It's down.
They're like,
One time I was in an H&M, like a big H&M Pride campaign that they had. It was in New York, like Times Square.
I remember this.
And I went to go look at it to see it because I was in town. And it was like the last day of June. And I got there and it was already 4th of July. So like they had taken down. Like,
it's still June?
It was still June. It was like the last day of June and it was gone. And it was like
Wait,
all
that's
these
so
like American
sad.
flags. And I was like, oh. So I never saw it.
What?
Oh
But,
my
wow,
god.
you got
You said
pictures.
that's the real
Yeah.
Pride
Yeah.
right there.
You saw pictures, hopefully.
Yeah, me and Laverne Cox.
Holy shit.
I know.
That's slay, though. I mean, like,
Yeah.
ultimately, it's cool and really amazing that they're platforming people, but it's like, I think my only concern with things like big campaigns and things like that, where it's like queer people, is that, like, I think it shouldn't be limited to a month.
Oh, for sure.
I think that we should be reaching out to, and that's why I love that, like, Hunter Schafer got the role in Euphoria, because it has nothing to do with, like, using, and that's just, like, one example, but, like, it should be because of, like, their work ethic and because of, like, who they are and what they stand on, and it's just,
Not like
it's
ticking a box or like meeting
Yeah.
a quota or something. Yeah, but we obviously still need the month because we can't even give people like
yeah.
rights.
it's like right now I feel like I'm only seeing the same people. Like, especially with the modeling industry, it's like all I see is like everyone's like 3 pounds.
It's so true.
And it's crazy. And then like once in a while, they'll like throw in a diversity.
Well, it's
hire.
so bad right now with that. It's like,
It's
it was
insane.
so, it's like beyond skinny right now.
I mean, like
Yeah.
no plus size models are working. It's like a thing right now. They're all
Really?
talking about it. But it's like, there was like a fad and a moment for plus size models. And then they're like, we're good on the big bitches.
But what is plus size considered again?
It's size 6 and above. So that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Hello?
We
Like-
are all some plus size models in here.
These are normal ranges of like
70% of American women are size 14.
That's
So that's kind of crazy. But yeah, I don't know. Everyone looks the same right now, but at least we got pride.
yeah, hey, at
You know?
least we got pride.
And hopefully they'll act right this year on pride.
Well, that's
I
why
want
I'm-
to see some diversity.
Same. And I'm trying to figure out how to word this tastefully, but sometimes I operate out of fear, right? And I think when I see things being said and I see a certain group of people, like even for instance, like Gaga doing, and I'm not even talking about America, I'm just talking about the world in general, like Gaga doing the 2.5 million people
Crazy.
show in Brazil, whatever the like main force of terrorism or whatever it is out there, they stopped someone with like bombs on bombs on bombs on bombs, like who was planning to
go.
intentionally bomb.
Wait, when was this?
This is the night of the show. They were
Oh.
planning on bombing an entire crowd as a targeted attack towards LGBT people. Obviously, you guys, I don't want to put fear into your heads, but like I'm seeing out of personal experience that like the deeper we go into this like rhetoric that like we're the monster, or at least like, you know, people who are, I just don't like the discourse behind that, and I get very fearful around pride because it's like
Yeah.
my brain goes to like I don't want to live in fear of like maybe what happened in Brazil.
well, yeah, totally. Also, like big crowds in general are just scary.
They're
Terrifying.
so stressful. I do not like them.
I used to be like, thank God, like I'm able to do like the Coachellas of it all because there's ways that you can like not be around so much people, but like in the middle of a crowd, like I used to do these electronic music festivals, but I was like able to do it because I was on copious amounts of substances.
Right.
The thought of that now, like
No,
Even
it's so
movie
scary.
theaters. I get
know.
stressed out.
Everything.
Yeah.
I'm like, why?
It's so
Why do we
scary.
think like this?
I know. I always teeter. I'm like, you need to live your life, but also I'm scared of everything. It's like,
Yeah.
I want
Yeah.
to find a balance.
We're gonna go out one way though, so
Hey,
That's
you know
so
what?
true.
might as well
Life-
go to Pride.
Yeah, you might as well.
Hey.
You might as well. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm definitely going. Like, I'm not going to. I think I had to say that out loud because that's just like been on my mind. I don't even think that's like specific to a location. I think it's just like specific to a conversation. But you know what? Like you said, we are going to go to Pride. But I do think that we should get an off our chest. Okay, so you guys, we're gonna get into off our chest. This is a segment where we rant or rave about something positive or negative that happened to us this week, and my girl Kate is going to lead the way.
Whoa. I did something really crazy this week.
Tell me.
And first off, I have to say, come to my monthly show and my weekly show. Description.
Or else.
Tickets are in the description. Show up. Don't be crazy. Dude, I saw Kendrick Lamar.
What?
I know.
Just casually, like out and about.
We hang out. No. I like don't go out, you know, it's not my thing. And I especially don't do concerts. I haven't done it in a hot minute. And my friend hit me up and she was like, yo, I have an extra ticket, $500. And it wasn't even like that good of a seat. And I was like, you know what? You know what's crazy? This podcast is the reason I went. Because I was going to say no, because I hate concerts. But I was like, I need to start doing things that aren't just open mics and complaining about them.
But we love when you complain about it.
We do, but I need to like do more stuff. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going.
Right.
It started at 7. We showed up at 9. Don't worry about that. But dude, like I haven't been to a concert in so long. I need to go to more. I need to see Megan Thee Stallion in concert.
I think like you saw him out in public.
Me too. It's like, what was he doing?
And honestly, like, clip that up.
Yeah, no.
Pretend that I hang out with him. Dude, it's so crazy because I do a monthly comedy show and like we're really trying to sell 40 tickets, which is like a slay in my opinion, and the tickets are $10, and I'm like, damn, he sold out the stadium. And the tickets are like insane. Like that's so crazy. And like he really came from nothing, and like the visuals were everything. And then SZA,
She come out?
girl. It was like they're touring together, so it was like her then him, her then him, and like
co-headlining.
No
she
shit.
was like sexy posing on a giant ant, and then like all these dancers were dressed as foliage, and it was just everything. And she did all her songs, and it was so fun and cool. And there was a teen couple in front of us legit dry humping, and at one point I was like, "Ooh, you need to move. This is weird."
Love this y'all's drug.
But no, they were straight. But it was crazy. Like a lot of teens there, and they were just like Snapchat recording the entire thing.
Oh.
Like did not put their phone down the whole time.
Yeah, that's the thing.
And I was like, it's these damn phones.
It's the damn
It's
phone
these damn
with relationships, with everything. I mean,
Yeah.
that ties into my off my chest. But
Yeah. No, it's these damn phones. And then the other thing is I touched on this Patreon. I'm officially ready for a relationship. So let me know in the comments.
Love
Yeah.
your drug.
Her
'Cause I'm-
Instagram
yeah.
is Kate
Yeah.
Lav
At @KateLab __.
underscore.
I feel like what I'm really trying to do is be less avoidant, because I'm super avoidant. I'm super cool girl with it, and I'm just trying to shift my energy and invite new things in and go out more. Yeah, I'm changing before your very eyes. You guys don't
Yeah.
even realize the shift that's about to happen. So
Realize.
analyze.
Scrotum in my eyes.
Scrotum in my eyes.
It was our 69th episode. I was talking about how I hate 69ing because
Yeah.
I feel like
Who
their
likes
scrotum is
that?
on my eyeballs. Yeah.
It's an
not me.
acquired taste.
It is. It's an acquired sight.
Yeah.
Yeah, seeing. That.
It's
Yeah.
something that's not talked about, and thank God it's not.
You could sit and think for a sec if you want.
Well, I can go, but mine is so weird.
Okay,
I
so
love
mine's dark.
weird.
So
No, you guys are not gonna like it. I don't know. I feel so nauseous.
right now,
Yes.
Oh my God.
I feel like. Can you tell? I'm like sweating for some reason.
no. Is it the Celsius of it all?
Could I have a little bit more water?
I might have Zofran.
No, that's okay.
Are you hashtag time of month?
No, I don't know what's going on, but I'm like, my upper lip is sweating.
No.
I'm like, why am I so? I think I had too much caffeine, like I was telling
That
you when I
happens
got
to
here.
me.
But I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna think of something to
if
say
you
for
need
this
to
thing.
go and handle
Yeah, if you
that,
need a
you
dip.
can. Do not think that will.
Yeah.
Okay, well, something amazing that's happening to me is my niece is in town, so that's good, and she's 4 months old. Baby.
You're practically an aunt.
Oh
but
yeah,
you're
I just became a
godmother.
godmother.
Oh my God, congratulations. It's the best kind of mother.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit distant still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My sister has to put her to bed, not me.
Yeah, I didn't have to birth her.
I also could be nauseous because I stayed up so late with my sister drinking wine after her.
Oh, okay then.
But
Right.
like,
That's tea.
it's so late for me to just get nauseous. Is it nice not ever being hungover?
Yes.
Oh my God, yeah.
That's so
I
nice.
I
mean-
mean, mine were debilitating by the end. Like I couldn't even get out of bed to make
Yeah.
pasta.
Yeah. I do think that like hangovers to a certain degree still happen to me like emotionally or like social battery drainage or like
sure.
even when I overdo it with the caffeine, I get extremely nauseous or my sleep quality is
Yeah, terrible.
okay. Well, I'm gonna say mine, but if you need anything or to take 5 or if you need to head out, just
You do yours.
okay. Just let me. It's a safe space to
Yeah.
speak your mind. You don't need to throw up on the couch. I promise.
Yeah.
Okay, so mine's like more of a it's an off my chest, but it's like I just need to verbalize this out loud, and I say this to Kate all the time, and I think you and I have had conversations about this, but I am back in a weird headspace again about comparing numbers on social media. It's just such a fear, especially like when a huge part of our job as creators is to work with brands and to work with companies or to collaborate with other people. And like we on this podcast have incredibly consistent numbers, which is so amazing. But like the thing about like the YouTube dashboard that me up the most is when they started adding the ranking. The one
The
of
ranking
10.
you up.
The one
and
of
it fucks me up now.
Get it.
And I gave you that by proxy, and I really
doesn't look at it.
You don't look at it?
I don't look at it.
Oh, I'm
I
sitting.
probably should, but I don't.
No,
you
don't.
shouldn't.
It
No.
ruins lives.
No.
Everyone's live.
No, and I think like we saw an episode recently do 10 of 10, which means it's out of the past 10 videos you've done, it is doing the 10th best. So it's at the very bottom. And then it just like puts me in this weird headspace because like I know that we're growing and evolving as a podcast. And, you know, as we're moving into the more like amazing things that we're working on that we can't wait to share with you guys. But like when I see things like that, it almost fucks with my that's just why it's these damn phones. It's these damn phones. It's with like my perception or like maybe like is this content like did I not bring it my all? Did I not do my best? What possible thumbnail could I have done that would have changed this all around? What possible title? ChatGPT prompt to change it like and then I just like and then I watch it and the only thing that makes me feel better is like that specific episode that I'm talking about that I watch I'm like it's a great fucking episode.
Yeah, I know, right?
And it really like
It was like a literally.
it was and that but I think also that's a part of what frustrates me.
You're like, why aren't you seeing the vision?
Well, the people that stayed saw the vision and thoroughly enjoy it.
Yeah.
But like, to me, it's like, and that's what they say. I saw this graph recently about like posting on Instagram and like what does well. And it's like, at the very bottom is like something that you worked really, really hard on that you were passionate. Do you see what I'm talking about? And then the one that's like has the most rate of success is like something you made in 2 minutes when you were like out of the grocery store.
The most unfunny shit I've ever thought of and posted does the best.
Like,
I'm like,
God forbid a bitch has passion.
right.
So.
They don't want to see it.
Right.
But yeah, I'm verbalizing it helps me pass through those emotions. And if you're here, we love you. And
Literally.
if you didn't see any of our recent episodes, go clock it.
Check them out.
Make it hit at least in the top 3. It can't make it up. Or I'll relapse.
Right. And that's a threat.
Yeah, that is a direct threat.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For real.
Wait, I have a question though. Do you not care about views and stuff, or how is your relationship with social media? Have you healed it, or have you never really cared?
No, I care. I still care, but I don't know. I think that like social media for me is also kind of it is kind of like a drug where like at the beginning of doing it, every time I got like a new like whatever number or new like I have 100,000 subscribers, I have 200, like, and it would be like it was like chasing something, and then when you've done it for as long as I've been doing it, like now I'm kind of like it never feels as good, or you realize
like
that it's like heroin or something where you're like, oh, you're always chasing the first high.
That's what I say.
Yeah, that's what social media feels like, and I think I just don't have the addiction to it anymore. So I have the depression around like if it's not doing well.
Yeah.
But I don't have it doesn't like make me feel better or worse.
Are you saying you don't have the addiction as far as the validation once the content is out, or are you saying you don't have the addiction to make the content anymore?
Probably both.
Okay. Yeah, because same. I mean, I think that's why I love doing this, because it is the most authentic way to portray Kate and I's lives, but at like the point where it's like it's just super conversational.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be this like, because then I'd feel worse if it's like an overly produced thing, and that's why I'm like obviously so excited to release like the music stuff, but I'm like shit that I'm about to spend so much money on that I'm so passionate about. It's just like, oh, I'm just going in without any expectations.
Yeah.
And just knowing that whatever happens, I did what I loved.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. It's great that you're doing it. A lot of people don't even have the guts to do it.
Literally.
Same with stand-up. I've always said, though, and by always I mean right now, hey, love is y'all's drug.
Speak on it.
I think that, like, when you're a specifically creative person, like the three of us, like, social media should be a launching pad for you rather than a landing pad.
Yeah.
Like, I think keep your passions in mind and in your front pocket, not even your back pocket. Like, find a way to like use it to your advantage, because we don't know how long this short form world's gonna last. We don't know how long it's gonna be before AI takes over social media and podcasts and everything. Like, we really don't know what's gonna happen. And like, it's been a long time doing it. I understand also like losing the addiction, doing certain things, and like it kind of just hurts worse along the way. But like, I think what's really special and what is always I encourage is like, find something that you're passionate with alongside the content that you make. So I'm very happy the three of us have that.
I know.
Which I think it's a very special thing that we all have.
No, it definitely is.
Because you've seen it. I mean, we've all seen it of like someone who thinks that like the world is their fucking oyster when they get like a million followers, and then it's like they move to LA, and then it's like, I see you at every party, I see you at every club, and I see you like on everything and like living the party like a rock star, and it's like,
and then it ends.
And then it ends because you didn't have the passion to transition into, or you just didn't have the passion to keep creating the quality content that blew you up in the first place. You like changed into something else.
So true. It is crazy.
And that's not a diss at anyone in particular. I think it's just the way that it goes. And psychologically, like, we've literally heard the term since like we were born, like party like a rock star. So it's like when you get to a certain point in your career where you like get that mentality of like, oh, I can do anything I want, you kind of crash and burn.
It's so true.
At some point.
I feel so bad that my shoes are on this couch like this. I'm realizing.
Oh my God.
We do it all the time.
Okay, good.
Queen of respect. No, guys, literally, Shannon got really sick. And the fact that she even did this podcast is crazy, because if I was nauseous, I'd be out.
Yeah, nausea. Well, we were talking about nausea. What was it on the Patreon?
Were we?
I think, yes. Where I was editing,
car sickness.
And I was like, when you are nauseous, it feels like the world around you is like crumbling. So I didn't even know. I didn't realize until like she literally stopped us and she's like, guys, I hate to do this, but like, I literally feel so sick right now. I feel so nauseous.
And it came out of nowhere. And when I'm nauseous, I'm so mean. She was so nice. She was
so nice.
She gagged with us like...
Well, gag. I'm like,
no, literally gagged. No, I feel really bad that... She was like, I can do it, I can stay. We were like, girl, this is not the Olympics. Like...
And now we gave her an open invite to come back when she's not nauseous.
And she better.
So if you guys loved our girl, Shan...
She was so sweet.
I know. I loved her so much.
Oh my God, I love her.
When she tried to like stay and like do a couple things after,
I was like, don't be a hero.
No, you don't need to be a hero today. Like, we can do the questions on our own.
Yeah. But let's do questions, right?
Guys, we are going to get into the unnamed segment. Or actually, that's a lie. I think right now it's called Gaggy Guidance. Yeah! Don't forget it. We are going to answer your questions, advice, and queries sent into our Instagram at 6 feet above pod. So make sure you are following us over there and following our personals at @KateLab__ and at Trevi Moran. If you love us, we're going to answer like a question or two more today, just because we're feeling like it. We're in the spirit.
Toits my goits. Okay.
Toits my goits.
Yes. Okay, so... Oh my God. I mean, this is so...
T-City.
Okay. They go, I was wondering if you guys have ever suffered from limerence. It's killing me right now.
No.
Can I just say? And I'm going to be honest.
What about lemonade?
Right. Maybe. Yeah, I've been slaying on this podcast with the exception of a few episodes. The past... I've been a month off limerence, but the past 5 months before that, I was in limerence. I'm like a month off of it. When I tell you...
Off of it like it's a drug.
It is.
Like it's
when I tell you, limerence was literally, and it's usually with someone you didn't even date, it literally was the worst experience of my life. I would have to come to this podcast, slap a smile on, and what's so hard about limerence is like, obviously I'm like still happy and I was able to like get shit done. It's not like debilitating, but it's always in the back of your head and you're like, free me! Like you're like, I just want to be free. It got so bad that I had to start looking at the music video of like Mulan, I'll Make a Man Out of You for like inspiration. It got like that bad. But like...
You ever pray to like forget a man?
Oh, girl.
Yeah.
No coincidence I was talking about church.
Hey yo!
No, that was actually for my being a godmother. But when I tell you limerence
Totally.
is so painful, you feel like you're never gonna feel like your genuine happy self again, and you feel like you're going fucking insane because usually it's with someone you never even dated, and so
Yeah.
then you go into a shame spiral, and then you're mean to yourself. You need to be nice to yourself.
Don't get me started
You need to
on
remember that.
theorizing of like your own theories that you make in your head of who the person is or what the person's doing. I mean, so the difference between limerence and love, right? And correct me because I think I kind of know, but like limerence is almost more of like a creation in your own mind / obsession, infatuation with a person to the point where you develop really intense feelings rather than like love. Being in love with someone is because it's almost like mutual.
Yeah, you're like they talk to you. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
they
like
respect you.
yeah, and like limerence, it's like you like throw away your fucking values and morals, and you like put up with shit that like you thought you healed from and like never thought you'd put up with again, and you like make these excuses and like do all these mental gymnastics, and you're like running it by all your friends and being like, well, they said this and then that, but what if I do that? And it's like no one should be fucking up your nervous system like that and leading you astray.
Yeah, leading you with breadcrumbs. Mind you,
Bread.
you're sniffing the loaf.
And it's like you being this smart fucks me up every time.
You know what? You setting me up to be this smart, it's why it works.
Like-
Because your smart comes before mine. And that's just why. Sniffing the Loaf
You know what
is
this
actually
is.
the name of my album.
Wait, that's such a good. No, I'm so sorry you're going through that. Remind yourself it's not going to be forever. I'm so passionate about limerence because I experienced it for the first. Well, no, I experienced it in college and after, but yeah, so I've experienced it before.
But the thing is, though, like when you say like it's not going to last forever, like that's 100% true. But like to make it not last forever, you have to make sure it doesn't last forever by staying out of contact.
And what you have to do is like, even if, and this sounds insane, but even if you didn't date that person, you have to pretend you're going through a breakup with them. You have to literally be like, we broke up and it's done. Like you legit have to go through a breakup. And I know it sounds insane. And then you're like, but I didn't even date this man. I'm so crazy.
You were
and it's
theorizing about it. We were
you're
theorizing
not
about it.
crazy. Everyone goes through this. Just break up with them. Mm-hmm. Just break up with them.
In your head, and then just ghost them in real life. Because you know what? If you stay in contact with someone who's not giving you back what you deserve, that is not ensuring that limerence is going away.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's extending the limerence of
We
it all.
can't have that.
We can't have it. And you know what? I pray that you get through this, and we love you, and we get you, because we have been there.
We really do.
Can I look for something?
Yeah, please.
I don't know why I want to answer this one, but it's so simple. But a lot of times, I feel like maybe we don't even like get asked this question and just like say the tea, and it's not what you're expecting. It's not an extravagant thing. The question is, how are you?
Whoa.
Simple and effective. That's what the question is. How are you? Simple but
What
effective.
a loaded question.
Like, how are you genuinely doing in this part of your life?
Whoa.
Right? It's a lot deeper than I thought about it. I was scrolling and I was like, yeah, that's... And I was like, wait, I actually think I want to answer this with my girl, Kate.
Yeah. Like, genuinely, I feel like I'm at this stage of my life where I'm like listening to all these podcasts about like manifestation and living in the now. And I feel like I'm really trying to figure out how to have the right mindset. And with that is coming like just like a lot of emotions, because then I'm like, wait, I'm not doing it right. And then I'm like, wait, you are doing it right. And then I'm like, you are in a place right now you never, like when you are a receptionist making actually $1 an hour and hating your life, like you, and it's like not like I'm making a lot of money now or like I still have a job on the side, but I'm still living a life right now that like I never thought I would have lived.
Yeah.
Doing stand up, doing this podcast with you, like having these creative endeavors. I just, right now, it's like I have to constantly remind myself to like lean into gratitude because it's so easy to compare and despair. But I am feeling really grateful for life. And sometimes I'm like, I can't even believe this is my life. It's so amazing. And it's like, I'm not even at the goals that I want to reach yet, but I love that I'm here. I really try not to get, and that's like a career facet, but like also like relationships, like with friendships, I'm like slaying. I'm loving them right now. With like romantic relationships, it's so hard for me not to get sad about it when I think about it too much, because it's like, girl, my love life is what love life. I know that the universe has a plan, but it's really easy to throw a pity party for myself and be like,
1000%.
damn, everyone's in love. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like overall, I'm really good in trying to lean into gratitude.
Yeah. What's so interesting that you said about like watching the manifestation videos and podcasts and stuff like that is like, I've also been doing that I feel like that's just when you have a dream, you always end up back to like living in this state of desiring that dream. Mm-hmm. But what I find to be so interesting about a lot of these like videos and things that I listen and watch about like manifesting and like getting your dreams, one of the first things like it says to you is like, live as you have it.
Yeah.
And like, don't live in a state of desire.
So it's
so
hard.
funny because it's like this loop of like, I live in a state of desire. I go to these videos. It tells me not to live in a state of desire and act like you already have it. But then when I act like I already have it, I'm like, am I an egotistical ass bitch?
And then when you don't get it, you're like so let down.
And then I'm like, okay.
It's legit. No one talks about how stressful these manifestation things are, because I'm like, anytime I have a negative thought in my head, I'm like, I ruined everything. I'm never gonna get the life I want. And then I'm like, and then I'm like, no, live in the now. Like pretend you have it. And then I'm like, and it's like, yo, it is stressful.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm never doing it right.
Yeah. Did you see the comment on our last episode that was like, but mind you, we had one episode where we talked about woo-woo shit, and someone goes, don't tell me this is becoming a new age spirituality podcast.
Girl, I wish.
And they're like, it's going to open portals or something. And I was just like,
I hope so. Good portals.
good portals. I'm trying to jump into success.
Hello.
But to answer that question, I think I'm good. I've been better, but I've also been worse. I also have a dream since I was a wee young lassie, and I think that like above anything in my life, I'll do nothing to stop to get that. Like I will do everything I can to make sure that my dreams come true, even whether if I'm fucking 70. Like I'll do, and I have multiple dreams, so it's like, I know same with you, so it's like I feel pretty motivated lately. I think there's just a lot of really, really, really amazing things going on in my life. So I'm trying to cut out the space of anything that isn't serving me. And that's why I also talked about in the beginning of this episode that like, what is a vape doing for me? Yeah. That is
so hard to let go.
It's so hard. And I'm like really, really, really scared. That's just really been on my mind lately. I really just, any person, anything, any routine, even editing in the house, doing emails on the couch in my fucking underwear, like go to a coffee shop.
Yeah.
So I'm in a very motivational headspace. I'm saying this out loud so you guys hold me accountable, but I'm doing good. So I loved that question, actually. You do one.
Oh my God. The next one is, I shared my location with my friend and now she annoys me every time I'm in her area. Me and you are very anti-share location.
Yes.
I like forced you to share your location with me once and it was like, yo, what's the word? It was pulling strings to get you to share your location.
Yeah,
but it was because I was worried for your safety.
I think we're beyond the friendship level of like I just think like if you're not answering me and I don't know where you are, like I also would like, I can call someone that I feel like would have your location. Like if it were ever to, I just think me and you value privacy so
I've never
much.
even thought to
we sound
look
like
at
a couple that's
no,
like,
I know.
That's like
I've legit never even thought to look at someone's location. My friend literally the other day was like, you have my location. Like you knew where I like was. And I was like, Like, I think it's so crazy.
Yeah.
And, like, I've seen people weaponize it, and it's just the most insane thing. It would also drive me insane if I had, like, everyone's location. I just don't need to know.
It's so funny. Like, I have a bunch of YouTubers and singers' locations on my phone.
And you're like,
randomly from, like, just you, because you share it, and then you just, like,
you forget.
At a certain point in your life, no matter, like, what the closeness you have with them, you click share indefinitely, and then it just stays. Like, I have... Rebecca Black, no tea, no shade,
I'm
because
dead.
we always say this when we run into each other. But Rebecca Black, I know where you are at all times. And I know you know where I am at all times.
And it's like, why?
But it's like, at this point, it's a bit.
Right.
Like, at
Because
this
it's not
point,
creepy between you two.
it's
Like,
a
some
gag.
people take it too far.
Yeah, the only person I share my location with, pretty much in my family and, like, direct circle is my brother. And my mom knows, because he's the same. He's like, I'm not going to check my sister's location. But if something were to happen, my mom can always call my brother. I just, like, I don't know. You know, that's my life. Like, my mother, I'm just like, I don't know. But I did share my location with her for in 6 hours last night as I was going home. She's like, share your location with me until you get home. And I was like, okay, fine.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to do it.
Yeah. I liked that.
Right?
Well, oh, wait, did I give her any advice, though?
Oh, we didn't even give advice.
I love that. Well, you need to maybe...
Legit unshare it. Which is, like, awkward, and it sounds like your friend's probably going to get soft.
It's getting attached.
That's not healthy.
Yeah.
Really quick, someone goes, is it normal to bleed during sex? LMFAO, all caps.
Depends what type of sex.
If it's period sex, yeah.
And if it's anal and it's, like, one of your first times and it's very large.
Right.
Like, I don't want to say it's normal, but it happens.
I don't think, like, it's usually normal if it's happening every time.
Oh, did she say or he say that it's happening every time?
No.
Yeah, I also think it depends on, like, where and what we're talking about. Like, I don't even know if it's a man asking it. What if it's coming out of your pee-pee? Mm-hmm. And yeah, I just called your dick a pee-pee if you're a man, so.
Period.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's more of like a consult with the doctor rather than the 6FA girls sort of deal.
We're honored.
We're so
that
honored.
You asked.
Yeah.
But we need more info.
Yeah. Should we just go, like, get a PhD real quick? I think me and you could slay medical advice.
I honestly agree.
We should just start giving medical advice.
Well, I literally took an anatomy course. Like, I kind of know everything.
I mean, we practically do give medical advice about alcoholism, but that's all we're qualified for at this point.
We're working on it.
And I'm grateful for that.
I've been grateful for that. Yeah.
I am so grateful that we had Shannon on.
Me too. I hope she's okay.
Well, I'm grateful that she's going home and, like, being able to, like, adjust and hopefully get something in her system and go to sleep. But I love her. I've known her forever. I love that she loved you. I love that you guys got to finally meet. I'm grateful to be here with my girls. I'm grateful that I have a full glam on and a tan, and it's a Friday right now, and I haven't been out in LA in a second, so I think I just want to clop my little heels around town and just get my mind off some things.
Yeah.
But I'm so grateful for this podcast and to be sitting here with you every week. It's an honor. I love you.
I love you too. So grateful for this podcast forever. Yeah, grateful that y'all are coming to the shows, and my weekly and monthly comedy show, tickets in the description. And yeah, I'm really grateful Shannon came on. She was so nice. I knew she was going to be nicer than I even thought, and hope the queen's feeling better.
Same here.
Yeah.
Well, you guys,
we
I
love
hope
you.
this is one of 10.
Literally.
And I toits McGoits will be so sad if it is anything but that. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, we love you, and we'll keep showing up for you as long as we can. So we love you. And if you want to support us extra, we have our Patreon, and we now uploaded our 17th bonus episode over there. So you have 17 whole 6 feet above episodes. So if this wasn't enough for you, toots.
Tweets.
Check the description.
Pull up. Love you.
Love you. See you next week.